So the Lanterns trailer that was just released by Warner Brothers was almost perfect, except they made one big mistake, and I want to talk about it. First of all, if you have not seen this, go watch it. It was supposed to go on YouTube today, but I think it got leaked, so it ended up going up yesterday. This is a trailer for a show starring Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. Two Green Lanterns. The show is called Lanterns, and not Green Lanterns either, it's Lanterns. Keep that in mind for later. And while this is not necessarily as high profile as Supergirl or Man of Tomorrow, I do think Lanterns is going to tell us a lot about the new DCU. Not just like what's happening in the big story of it, but like what a thing in it can be. Because so far we've seen a couple of shows out of the new DCU. They have been Creature Commandos and they have been Peacemaker. And those are both shows created and written and produced by James Gunn, which I think is fine. I think it's cool. We got the Superman movie, again, made by James Gunn. We have the Supergirl movie, which is not made by James Gunn, but does kind of look like it's made by James Gunn. It's got a very Guardians of the Galaxy feel, which you're like, oh, it's a movie in space. Yeah, that's not what the comic looks like. But anyway, Lanterns feels like the first time one of these projects, the movie or television show, is done completely separately from James Gunn, but like not because you want to like keep him out of it or anything, but like this seems to have its own identity, and if that can work, then I think this superhero universe can be really successful, because you can bring in other people and they can create their own thing with its own voice, and it can sync up with all the rest of this if they want to do a big team up movie or something like that. So this show, we found out it comes out in August. That was news. We had not learned that yet, although a lot of people had assumed. And based on what it had originally been described as, kind of like True Detective, two investigators that don't get along in a small town trying to figure out some big conspiracy. So they put out the trailer, and my high level thoughts, I think it was great. This is the new DCU thing I'm the most excited for by a mile. And that mostly comes down to two things which were both present in this trailer. One, this show is phenomenally cast. I was one of the people who was like, hey, I know not everybody's on board with Aaron Pierre, but after watching Rebel Ridge, I'm like, he's the perfect John Stewart. Like, he just fully embodies everything you like about that character. He would be perfect in that role. So I was very excited to have him here. Kyle Chandler, I was more curious about. I did not watch Friday Night Lights. Not a huge fan of any of the rest of the stuff he's in. I saw like Super 8 and whichever Godzilla movie he was in. Those are fine. But I wasn't sure what a Kyle Chandler Hal Jordan would be like. What kind of personality it would have, especially because it seems like there were a lot of other actors that maybe were in the mix or considered, including like Josh Brolin. And Josh Brolin seems to have a very different vibe from what Kyle Chandler does, even though I'm sure they kind of go out for the same roles. Where Josh Brolin, I think, is supposed to be like intimidating and scary, Kyle Chandler is supposed to be maybe dangerous and also like tough, but not the same kind of guy. Someone who can be a little silly, someone who can be more of a wild card. And that is a good way to portray Hal Jordan. Like, that energy can fit perfectly into ways that character has worked in the comics and a buddy cop movie set against John Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre, who is the most like serious dude on earth. So casting, perfect. I'm not even gonna go over everybody else because we don't know who anybody's playing. There's a lot of really good talent in this show, but it's hard to say because like some of them have names, but it does seem like this is going to be a mystery. So like maybe that person isn't who they're saying they are. But like they did cast a Sinestro of the show. He looks cool. And then there's that one actor who was teasing that he was a different character completely, which is apparently not true. So unless it is, and he really like let that out of the bag, which would seem unreal considering how tight that secret would be. But like I'm kind of inclined to believe it's just a Halloween costume. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that now because maybe that is a spoiler and I don't want to spoil this. I mean, I know next to nothing about it, so it's hard to spoil anything. So number one, love the casting. Number two, love the Watchmen show. That might be like my favorite single season of superhero television that has ever been made. That show is so clever. It had such a difficult task of continuing the Watchmen narrative, saying something new about these characters, taking this world in a more contemporary direction, and like it looked gorgeous. It had a lot to say. Yes, I know some people like, oh, don't like how friendly it was with cops, which is a problem. You could also say is a Green Lantern problem, although sometimes it's like, are they cops or are they like investigators or are they military? Like John Stewart, he was a Marine. Is he kind of acting like a Marine instead of a cop? Hal Jordan was a pilot. Is he acting more like kind of an adventurer than a cop? It's hard to say. The only one that feels like they're 100% a cop is Guy. He is just straight up a cop. But like I'm sympathetic to people who want to be excited about this show but aren't excited about cops. I do think there's a little more nuance than that. The same way I think there was more nuance in Watchmen. But anyway, I do think this trailer made one enormous mistake. And I want to talk about it. And this isn't me trying to tell the people that make the trailer how to do their job, because this for me is kind of like oh, I wish it had gone this way instead. And no, I'm not talking about that I didn't think it was green enough. Like HBO tweeted, there was a little green basket of food that they got. So that's plenty of green. I mean, I think that was a cute tweet. And I understand why people are like, oh, it's not green enough. Two things about that. First, obviously that's part of it. Part of the vibe of the show is that Hal is not a very good Green Lantern, or at least he doesn't take like cleaning the suit and being this symbol of willpower and stuff. He doesn't take that seriously, or that's not the part of the job he likes. And maybe that is the part of the job that John would like, and that's going to be something that they're going to clash over. So on one hand, I'm okay with this character not constantly wearing bright green like some sort of off-duty Power Ranger. Like, I like that he feels like a normal guy, and maybe he's even disillusioned with the Green Lanterns for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Second thing, I'm sure everybody can remember a scene from a trailer that's different, like it looked different in the final cut because there were effects that were not added to it yet. So like this show comes out in August. I would not be surprised if there are effects that are currently being worked on and they're like, listen, there's no reason to put that out there now, show an unfinished version of it. Let's just show like the simplest version. And then when people see it in real life, oh, that's cool. And listen, that's the thing with trailers, right? Especially for a TV show, because you don't have to spend money to see it. I mean, you kind of do. Like, you don't have to pay to see it the same way you do with a movie. So like, I do think if what ends up happening is this show is just really good, and oh, by the way, every time he flies, he's covered by the green aura you would kind of expect, people will not care about the trailer, but still, I think like they deserve the benefit of the doubt, because that's just how this works. Oh, by the way, this is my cat Mortimer. He loves to be here when I talk about Green Lantern, because obviously he loves Dexstar, the Red Lantern, who is a cat. And hey, maybe he'll show up in this. That'd be pretty cool. There's no cats in this bit. They do mention the squirrel. He says like, oh, there's a Green Lantern that's a squirrel. There's 2 Green Lanterns and they're squirrels, Hal. Maybe you would know him better if you hung out with the alien lanterns, which it doesn't seem like you do. But yeah, okay, big problem with this trailer. I wish, and there's only a couple of instances of this, I think you could cut the right version of it together. I wish they didn't say or show any Green Lantern stuff until he introduces himself as Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Like, how cool would this trailer have been if it just seemed like it was for a new season of True Detective, you know? 2 guys in an argument in a car, like, I think I should be in charge. It's like, you're not ready to be at the front of the class, you're just a substitute. You know, maybe we cut the bit where he drives the car off a cliff, because that would be a little too much. Although, I'm maybe move that back to like later in the trailer when it's clear that something's up, but then you just put all the rest of it, because all the rest of it, Hal's not saying like, I think everyone here is under mind control, or I think everybody here is an alien or something. All Hal says is, something's weird about this town. And John says like, it's the oath of the Green Lantern to protect people, and I'm better at that than you. But that's something, again, take out the Green Lantern thing and say, our job is to protect people. I'm better at that than you. And none of the other characters, besides that one bit where someone holds up like a weird yellow alien gun to Jon Stewart's head, like no one says or looks or does anything that would make them seem out of place in just a regular True Detective show. You get this tension, you get these explosions, and then you get that reveal like, oh my god, this is the Green Lantern. Then maybe you do the bit where he flies away and do the bit with the ring. You get the little stinger at the end where they talk about the squirrel. Like, that would have been so much fun. So surprising for people. I really wish they had a time machine. We could go back in time to do that. Obviously, you'd also have to get rid of the suit that you see in the trailer. And people have said things about the suit. But again, this version of the suit, much like Hal, is old and dirty. He doesn't care about the look of it. He isn't proud of like the emblem of the Green Lanterns. Maybe they did something that like Hal knows. He's like, the Green Lanterns is a core. Like, I get it, you're really into this thing, but like they're messed up. So like, yeah, that's why I don't wear the suit everywhere, because like I don't want to be a representative of this police state or whatever the Green Lanterns are in this universe. And like, yeah, people have said sometimes the suit is a construct, but sometimes in the comics it was just a suit that was on a hanger. And it also seems like he has other Green Lantern suits that maybe look more modern and cooler. I will say, one of the things so far that I have been kind of the least into when it comes to the new DCU is the costumes. Not to say that I don't think they're creative, because I think a lot of them are. I don't like Superman's collar, but besides that, I think the Superman costume is gorgeous. But like, looking back at the movie, like, I didn't really like the engineer's costume. I didn't really like Guy Gardner's costume. I didn't really like Hawkgirl's costume. I know part of the deal was like, oh, they have costumes, they're corporate and they're supposed to be ugly. Yeah, I know, but they're also still ugly. And the characters don't seem to understand that by the end of the movie, so what's the point? Like, you know, I think the Supergirl costume looks good. So I'm not saying that like the costumes in the new DCU look bad, but I do think like this has a look. It kind of looks like what you would expect, but with some character. And that's what you want from a show like this. That's what you want from a trailer like this. Because I've also seen people say, and talking about the suit kind of gets at this, that this show is a surf Dracula. Let's talk about what a surf Dracula is. There was a tweet that went around a while ago in like the film Twitter circles, and the gist of it was this. Back in the day, if there was a show called Surf Dracula, Dracula would surf for like 20 minutes every episode. If they made that show today, Dracula wouldn't surf until the last 5 minutes of the last episode of the first season because he has to earn the surfing, right? That's how a lot of these shows do tend to go. People described Wonder Man as a surf Dracula because, spoiler alert, a lot of the stuff you would expect to happen in the show is actually not until the very end of the show. That's not to say the show is bad. I think if anything, it's a failure of marketing. It's a failure of communicating what the show is going to be like. And sometimes, it's like, well, you want to sell the most exciting version of the show, because even if, like, Wonder Man, people see it and go, well, this isn't like a big superhero drama, but I am also really into this. I feel like Lanterns could have the same deal. But I also do genuinely think, and again, this is different from Supergirl, and maybe it's just because it's Damon Lindelof and I give him the benefit of the doubt because I love that Watchmen show. But like, I think there's more to this that we have not seen that is going to look different. I don't think he's going to go into space. Like, I think Sinestro is going to show up, and Sinestro is going to just look like Sinestro. And the Jon Stewart version of the suit is going to look more like what you'd expect. And I think when they use the rings, it's going to look more like what you'd expect. I mean, we already saw Guy Gardner use one of these rings. They look fine. I think it looks like what a Green Lantern ring should look like. I mean, God, the Guy Gardner Green Lantern stuff in Superman looked so good. Also, I'm really excited to see him in this. Apparently curses a lot. Loved all the F-bombs. Felt real. Felt like any of these True Detective shows. Like, that's the thing. Feels like it's kind of like that's what the MCU version of the show is. Not to say the MCU is bad, but like the same way people talk about Winter Soldier and they're like, it's like a 70s spy thriller. And it's like, it's not. It's a superhero movie with the trappings and maybe some of the themes of the 70s spy thriller. But like, you couldn't just turn it on and watch like 2 scenes and be like, oh, this is a real 70s spy. No, you'd be like, it's a superhero movie. With this, I think you could turn this on, watch some scenes that don't say the word Green Lantern in them and go, oh, this is a new True Detective or something. Like, it does genuinely look like the thing that it seems to be inspired by, and I think that is really impressive. Maybe this will stink, I don't know, but I have a great feeling about this. And like, I hope they do address the cop thing, like maybe this is a show about crooked cops and how the system is bad, I don't know. I mean, it reminds me of a video I watched recently by Lindsay, one of my favorites. It's called The Macabre World of Body Cam YouTube, and it's all about this weird industry that exists where people like edit videos of police body cams and put it out onto the internet and people enjoy it. I did not know this existed at all. It is fascinating. You can watch that video along with tons of others on this video sponsor, Nebula. You guys have heard me talk about Nebula before. It is a subscription streaming service that I helped to create. A bunch of us video essayists, and I don't like call myself a content creator, but like content creators got together and we were like, hey, these platforms that we have to work with, they're great, but they have some problems. And the big one is we wanted to just make great videos, give them to you guys. We wanted to make a nice, clean, well-organized place where you can go to watch all of our videos. They all go up early, so every Nando V Movies video and Nando Cut video go up early. They're all ad-free. You can download them to your phone, which is a feature I don't hear nearly enough people talking about, but is incredibly useful. Like if you don't want to have to eat up all your data or deal with the Wi-Fi at the gym or something, download some videos. You'll have them with you. The videos on Nebula are all made by real people, and that didn't used to have to be a selling point, but now I think it might be the best selling point. There's also all kinds of cool videos you can only find on Nebula. Like Lindsay makes videos almost exclusively for Nebula. One of her most recent videos was about Bluey adults, and the one after that was about dash cam footage, so it really covers a pretty wide spectrum of things. Then you've got short films like Patrick Williams' Dinner Plan, or series like Maggie Mae Fish's Amy's Dead End Dream House. And you have what we haven't like fully announced, but will be coming out sometime next year, our show Subliminal. It's our first like dramatic series. I wrote an episode. I think it's pretty good. I've seen parts of it now because it's like coming together and been edited and all that, and like it looks great. I can't wait for you guys to see it. If you want to support us, give us more opportunities to do cool stuff like that, and you want to see our videos early, ad-free, download them and see other creators on Nebula, because all of your favorite creators and your next few favorite creators are on Nebula right now. Like there's something for everybody. And a yearly subscription to Nebula is $60 for a whole year. That is $5 a month. But if you go to go.nebula.tv/thenandocut, or the link in the description, or you use the QR code, you can get a year of Nebula for just $30. That is $2.50 a month. It is an incredible deal. Again, that is go.nebula.tv/thenandocut.